My story is interesting in that it's been kind of amazingly set up by Chris, who also told a Vic Chestnut story. If you're not familiar with Vic Chestnut, it's his lyrics that Rabbit Box is named for. And he's an amazing, cynical, he has passed away. He was amazing, cynical, witty, crass poet and musician who we all loved very much. So we also, last night, I was going to tell a different story, but because of the name Rabbit Box, I thought I would switch to a Vic story. And it's actually even better set up because of Chris's story. So I was in a band called Elf Power, or am still in a band called Elf Power, and we were asked to back Vic Chestnut up on his tour of Spain, another tour of Spain. And we had an amazing time. For all the same reasons. Vic is hilarious and witty, and we traveled the country and had lots of adventures. And the wheelchair definitely plays a huge role in the new type of traveling. And he would always say, like, you don't understand. I would be kind of motherly or like, oh no, we're gonna get in trouble. Oh no, we can't do this. And he's like, no, when you're in a wheelchair, you can get away with anything. And it's just a different world. When you're in a wheelchair, man, there's just no problems. And I always was wary of this. And, the whole tour, we had our ups and downs. And I had my passport stolen. We had to go through massive getting re-identification in Madrid and lines. And, so we had been through all kinds of red tape. But our shows had been really, really successful, and we were super excited about everything that had happened, and we were to our last night of the tour. And we went out to dinner to celebrate. And Vic has not been a drinker for many, many years. He was early in his life, but he hasn't touched liquor since then. But our last night, the waiter came around and started saying, limoncello shots on the house. And we all had a shot of limoncello, and Vic's ego was kind of growing with the liquor a little bit. And we carried him down to the basement in this restaurant, in which if you ever travel with someone in a wheelchair, it's kind of like ceremoniously like royalty, hoisting them down, like 4 men abreast, kind of, down steps and things. And, so our last supper was very much like this, and we were having a grand time. And then we finished our dinner, and we had made friends with all the staff there, and they all knew it was our last night in Spain and that we were flying out, very early in the morning. And so they were just helping to make the night really, really special for us. And then we had a few hours that we were still kind of wound up because we were on tour schedule and used to staying up till 2 in the mornings. And so we decided that we kind of found a close-by knick-knack shop. And so we decided after dinner we would go and spend all of our last Spanish money before climbing on the plane. And so we went into this little shop, and it was all like Kinder Eggs and little books and just stuff that you could spend change on. And we all are picking out exactly how much our money that we have left. We'll get this many candies and this for so-and-so, and we're just blowing the change. And all of us kind of get distracted and are off in different places, and Vic's cruising around the shop and looking at different things, and I see him over milling in the moleskin, writer's book area and stuff, and I think I'm over in the Kinder Egg just loading up, as many as I can squeeze with my change. And time passes, and I spend my money, everyone else, and we start to congregate outside of the shop. And we're waiting there for Vic to come out. Vic is the last one. There's 5 of us. And we notice it's odd, but the shopkeeper has rolled the trash can, barring the exit. And I start to step up and say, my friend is in a wheelchair. He can't possibly get through this passageway. But not in Spanish, but I'm trying to get through. And he seems very, very angry. And he's shaking his head in dismay. And I'm like, uh-oh, this is big trouble. So Vic comes down, wheeling down the ramp towards the exit, and he's thrown this trash can in the way, and he says, take that coat off your lap. And Vic looks up and starts to kind of glaze over. And he says, sir, take that coat off your lap. In English. He's speaking in English now, even with his Spanish accent. And Vic completely freezes and kind of seizes his arm up. And the owner of the store pulls the jacket away to show that Vic has stolen a moleskin book. And Vic slowly, stares off into the distance and forms spit bubbles. And then a stream of drool, slowly kind of trickles down his chin. And he goes, I'm stupid. And the owner says, what? And shakes his head, and he repeats, in this far-off, drippy, oozy glaze, I'm stupid. And at which point, Derek Olmsted just turns to Vic and says, I am so disappointed in you. Which apparently was the right response to make the shop owner think that maybe there was some truth to this. But he just slams the door, locks the shop behind us, walks away, and Vic looks at me and says, see, when you're in a wheelchair, you never get arrested.